The very first time that you're going to meet up with somebody, I'm going to be there.
Your sister likes women.
Julian got caught by her school webcamming with a girl. It's a friend of hers and, well, yeah, got kicked out of school.
Well, at least she's not hitting on her aunt.
You are embarrassing me.
I'm sorry if I lashed out at you out there. I know that you're bisexual. It's time to expand, talk to her.
Yeah.
Maybe something will come along with it.
Scarlett told me to kind of come in here and check on you. You're into women? Yeah.
I think I just need somebody to cuddle me and make me feel safe. Would you do that for me?
Told you?
Your skin is so soft.
I'm on a MDC now. I saw this mother-daughter, and they're looking for like someone to help them study World War II.
We don't know anything about World War II.
We'll just make something up.
How many soldiers did you say died?
Over 16,000. We can continue this back at our house.
You'll have her back by 6.
Enough about our family. What about you? Do you have a boyfriend? Sounds like you got yourself a real loser.
Why don't, you try kissing a girl, like with Dana?
What is this for? Did you get into UT? I didn't even know you were dating a boy to get a ring.
We're engaged.
You're engaged, Mom. All 3 of you are moving to New York next week. We would love for you to join us. I could try it, and with you guys it'd be fun, and I could be with you still.
You could shack up with Jay. We were gonna share a bedroom. We were gonna have to do wifely duties.
We can go explore together in the bedroom.
You're wanting to see if I can please you.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter has no idea what I can do.
Scene 3 shifts the film's emotional register into something more outwardly playful on the surface. Yet beneath that playfulness lies a complicated and revealing portrait of curiosity, influence, and the fragile process of self-discovery among women navigating desire within a culture that often scripts their experiences in advance. The interaction between Dana and Tali begins in a tone that feels almost casual, even conspiratorial, as they discuss dating, attraction, and the limitations of their current romantic environments. Dana presents herself as experienced, confident, and slightly world-weary, someone who has seen it all within her local dating pool, while Tali appears more tentative, still forming her understanding of what relationships can and should feel like. This contrast immediately establishes a dynamic that is not simply about attraction, but about influence, mentorship, and the subtle power imbalances that can arise when one person appears more certain of themselves than the other. Dana's humor and boldness function as both a shield and a tool, allowing her to navigate the conversation with ease, while also guiding Tali toward new ways of thinking. Yet the scene never fully endorses Dana's perspective as authoritative. Instead, it invites the audience to observe how confidence can sometimes blur into persuasion, and how persuasion can carry emotional consequences even when it is framed as playful or harmless. The conversation about online spaces and the idea of meeting everyone gestures toward a broader commentary on how queer communities are often both expansive and limited at the same time, particularly in smaller or more insular environments. Dana's frustration with having exhausted her options reflects a common experience among queer women, where the search for connection can feel both urgent and constrained. Her suggestion to explore new avenues, even through somewhat deceptive means, introduces a tension between desire and ethics, highlighting how the longing for connection can sometimes lead individuals to rationalize choices that might otherwise feel uncomfortable. This tension becomes even more pronounced as the scene transitions into the fabricated story about historical research, a narrative device that allows Dana and Tali to enter into a new social interaction under false pretenses. While the film presents this plan with a degree of humor, it also subtly underscores the lengths to which individuals may go in order to create opportunities for connection in a world that does not always provide them easily or openly. The discussion of history, particularly the reference to a young soldier's experience in a devastating wartime event, introduces an unexpected moment of gravity that contrasts sharply with the earlier lightness. This juxtaposition serves an important thematic function, reminding the audience that stories, whether personal or historical, carry weight, and that invoking them, even casually, can evoke deeper reflections on survival, vulnerability, and the passage of time. In this context, the fabricated narrative becomes more than just a plot device. It becomes a metaphor for the ways in which people construct versions of themselves in order to be seen, understood, or desired. Tally's participation in the storytelling suggests a willingness to step outside of her comfort zone, yet it also hints at her susceptibility to Dana's influence, raising questions about agency and consent that linger beneath the surface of the scene. As the interaction progresses and the focus narrows to Tally's personal life, the film begins to explore the theme of dissatisfaction within heteronormative relationships. Tally's description of her boyfriend reveals a lack of attentiveness and reciprocity, a dynamic that is unfortunately familiar to many women regardless of orientation. Dana's critique of this relationship is blunt and dismissive, framing it as evidence of a broader pattern in which women are undervalued and underappreciated. While her language is exaggerated, the underlying sentiment resonates with a larger cultural critique of how women's emotional labor is often taken for granted. Dana's suggestion that Tally might find greater fulfillment in relationships with women is presented not as a radical proposition, but as a logical extension of Tally's unmet needs. This framing is significant, as it challenges the assumption that heterosexuality is the default or most natural orientation, instead positioning it as one possibility among many. At the same time, the scene is careful not to present this shift as instantaneous or inevitable. Tally's responses are marked by hesitation, curiosity, and a desire to understand rather than immediately redefine herself. This gradual unfolding of awareness is one of the scene's most compelling aspects, as it mirrors the real-life experiences of many queer women who come to recognize their desires over time rather than in a single defining moment. The invitation for Tally to explore her feelings within a private space marks a turning point in the scene, not because of any specific action, but because of the emotional stakes it introduces. The transition from public conversation to private interaction symbolizes a movement from social performance to personal truth, a shift that is often fraught with uncertainty and vulnerability. Tally's nervousness is palpable, reflecting the internal conflict between curiosity and fear that accompanies many first experiences of self-exploration. Dana's reassurance, framed in terms of familiarity and comfort, attempts to normalize the situation, yet it also underscores the delicate balance between encouragement and pressure. This balance is central to the scene's ethical complexity, as it raises questions about how individuals can support one another's exploration without overstepping boundaries or imposing expectations. The film does not provide easy answers to these questions. Instead, it allows the tension to remain, inviting viewers to consider the nuances of consent, agency, and emotional readiness. The language used in this portion of the scene emphasizes emotional states rather than physical actions, focusing on feelings of shyness, curiosity, and the desire for reassurance. This emphasis aligns with the film's broader commitment to portraying intimacy as an emotional and relational experience, rather than a purely physical one. Tally's repeated expressions of uncertainty highlight the importance of acknowledging and respecting one's own pace, a theme that resonates deeply within queer narratives, where the process of self-discovery is often shaped by external pressures and internalized expectations. Dana's role in this dynamic is multifaceted. She is at once a guide, a provocateur, and a mirror, reflecting back to Tally possibilities that she may not have previously considered. However, the scene also subtly critiques the notion of one person leading another into a new identity, suggesting that true self-recognition must ultimately come from within, rather than being imposed from outside. This critique is particularly important in the context of queer representation, where stories have sometimes been simplified into narratives of conversion or awakening that overlook the complexity of individual experience. By maintaining a focus on emotional nuance, the film resists these simplifications and instead presents identity as something that is negotiated, questioned, and continuously evolving. The broader implications of the scene extend beyond the specific interaction between Dana and Tally, touching on universal themes of longing, validation, and the search for authenticity. The desire to be seen, understood, and valued is not unique to any one orientation. Yet the ways in which this desire is expressed and fulfilled are deeply influenced by cultural norms and expectations. For queer women, in particular, the process of articulating and pursuing these desires can be complicated by societal discomfort with women's relationships with one another. This discomfort often manifests in the form of erasure, where such relationships are minimized or ignored, or sensationalization, where they are exaggerated and stripped of emotional depth. The scene challenges both of these tendencies by presenting a portrayal that is grounded in emotional reality, emphasizing the significance of connection, trust, and mutual recognition. It insists that these experiences are worthy of attention and respect, not because they are unusual or provocative, but because they are fundamentally human. The dynamic between Dana and Tally also reflects broader patterns within queer communities, where differences in experience and confidence can create both opportunities for growth and potential imbalances of power. The concept of mentorship, while not explicitly named, is present in the way Dana introduces Tali to new ideas and perspective. However, the scene complicates this concept by showing how mentorship can become entangled with personal desire, raising questions about boundaries and responsibility. This complexity is handled with a degree of subtlety that allows for multiple interpretations, encouraging viewers to engage critically with the material rather than accepting it at face value. In doing so, the film contributes to ongoing conversations about how queer relationships are represented and understood, highlighting the need for narratives that acknowledge both the joys and challenges of these connections. Ultimately, the scene serves as a meditation on the process of becoming visible to oneself, a journey that is often marked by moments of uncertainty, hesitation, and gradual realization. It suggests that this process is not linear or predictable, but rather shaped by a combination of personal introspection and interpersonal interaction. By centering the emotional experiences of its characters, the film creates a space where viewers can reflect on their own relationships, desires, and the ways in which they navigate the complexities of intimacy. It affirms that the search for authenticity is an ongoing process, one that requires both courage and compassion, and that the connections we form with others can play a vital role in helping us understand who we are.